Yeah, it's about time I talked about this. I mean, was gonna have to eventually. Well, I guess I technically don't have to, but I think it's important to. So, as I'm sure all fans of the channel know, my most popular series is the Every Inaccuracy videos, where I go through a movie or game or show and point out individually all the little mythical inaccuracies in that product.
And the greatest and strongest of all these heroes was the mighty Hercules.
I think you mean Heracles, considering Hercules is actually the Roman version of his name, and this is clearly the Greek version of his story, with everyone else having the Greek versions of their names. So, yeah, you want Heracles, not Hercules. Why does nobody get that right? And of course, just by looking at them, you can probably notice a lot of similarities to the CinemaSins channel.
Remember, I have powers?
It's for the best.
Yeah, because you don't have and never will have the power to tell your sister no when she asks you to do magic.
And this has led to a lot of comments bringing up CinemaSins in several of the videos, and a lot of people have asked me, well, did CinemaSins inspire this series? Did you get the idea from CinemaSins' videos? Yeah. Partially. Not 100%, but yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna sit here like some arrogant, disingenuous jerk and claim, oh, actually, CinemaSins had nothing to do with that series whatsoever. I'd never even heard of CinemaSins, never watched a single one of their videos. They're trash. I don't have any respect for them. It all came from my inherent brilliance. Now, of course CinemaSins had an influence on that series. I think it's pretty freaking obvious by watching one of those videos that there was some influence. I'd have to be a total ass to say otherwise. But it wasn't 100% inspired by them. Enough to significantly influence certain parts of it, but let me explain how I originally got the idea for that topic. So the very first video in that series was the Every Inaccuracy in Disney's Hercules, which is the most popular video on the channel. It's at almost 10 million views, and I can't express how grateful I am to all of you for that. Didn't expect it to blow up like it did when I made it. The idea for that video, or concept, basically, originated back when I was in high school. See, I grew up with Greek myths as a hobby. My mom read them to me when I was little, and I kept reading them as I got older. And growing up, one of my favorite movies ever was Disney's Hercules. I loved the hell out of that movie. When I was in high school, one of my English classes basically became a Greek mythology class in the second semester. I think that's happened for a lot of people. And up until that point, I was not doing well in the class because I was not a good student growing up. So when we got to the Greek mythology section, I got really excited because I thought, oh, here's an opportunity to pick up my grade. And towards the end of the year, I was doing a lot of extra credit assignments for certain teachers because, again, wasn't a good student, had several Fs, and I was turning in essays I was doing at home to bring those Fs up to Ds so I wouldn't have to repeat the grade. And I was planning, okay, for my English class, I think it would be good to write an essay where I compare Disney's Hercules to the actual Heracles myth, because there's definitely a lot to point out. I was thinking, yeah, I can point out the difference with the name, I can point out the difference with what he wears in the story, with what he actually does. I can do it like just listicle, bullet pointing all the different things, and it'll surely get me some extra credit. Here's the thing, though. When I went to ask my teacher about how my grade was doing, true story, it turned out that during the mythology semester, because I knew Greek mythology pretty well already, I had already successfully raised my grade all the way up to a B+. So I was like, oh, I don't need to do an extra credit assignment then. So that idea just kind of went into the back of my head, because I was actually kind of excited to write it. I was like, this is going to be fun. I don't think anyone's done a thing like that before. So it just went into the back of my head and stayed there. Then as I got older, several years older, I eventually started this YouTube channel, and, you know, thanks to you guys being awesome, it eventually built up to 300,000 subscribers. And I wanted to do something special for the subscriber special, and so I thought, like, when I was going through several ideas, I was thinking, wait, maybe I could do that Hercules-Heracles idea, the comparisons between the Disney's Hercules movie and the actual, you know, mythical tale. And then I thought, okay, how do I present it? Am I just going to sit in front of the camera and discuss it for like, what, 30 minutes to an hour? Yeah, that doesn't sound fun. A fun way would be to show a comparison between the two. But if I'm going to constantly compare one thing to another, I don't think a standard review style like what I did for the Percy Jackson videos will work. And then, eventually the idea came to me, I could probably just bullet point it the way CinemaSins does it. So yeah, that's what I thought. I thought, okay, yeah, I can just play the movie clips and just show what I need for context and then immediately list the sin, as CinemaSins would say, but for me it's the inaccuracy, and just point out what's wrong, and then we can move on to the next thing. It'll be a nice, concise way to do it, and it'll be fun, I'll do it in a weird, nitpicky character and stuff like that. And I put it up, and obviously we did some things different from CinemaSins. I didn't include a sin counter because I thought, we're not CinemaSins. I don't need to put a sin counter in there. We're just blasting through the inaccuracies here. I did want to put in subtitles because by that point I had 300,000 subscribers, and I knew that a lot of them, English was not their first language, so I wanted to make it a little more easy to digest, and I liked how CinemaSins had captions. Also, my friend and editor Shane added his own style of constantly having fun little images pop up. I don't know, maybe he got the idea from Game Theory, because I think it's kind of a similar style to that. But yeah, we put it up, and it freaking popped off. It freaking blew up. It went nuts. I thought this was going to be a one-and-done video, but it got millions of views, and people were demanding more and more and more, so we kept going from there. And yeah, that's how that video came to be. So yes, was partly inspired by CinemaSins, but also, it was based on an idea I had years prior, and we didn't just copy CinemaSins one-to-one. We wanted it to be our own thing. And people have told me, you gotta put a sin counter in these videos, you gotta have that ding after every inaccuracy. It's like, guys, I don't want to do that, because then I'm just copying CinemaSins. I think it's fine to be influenced by something, to take inspiration from something, or pay homage to something. But I think if I had the exact same format CinemaSins had and wrote like every inaccuracy in 30 minutes or less, just like they do, now I'm just ripping them off. I think it's good to have your own identity when you do these things. And I don't see the need to have any of that in my videos. They have it in theirs. I have my version. Like, if you want my videos to be exactly like CinemaSins, you can just go watch CinemaSins. I'm pretty sure they've done sin videos on all the movies I've talked about. So yeah, it's that's how that came to be. And another thing I want to talk about a little bit is something I see a lot in the comments section of those videos is people commenting, oh my god, this is if CinemaSins was good. This is like CinemaSins, but the guy actually knows what the hell he's talking about. Oh, I want to say this is like CinemaSins, but CinemaSins is garbage, so I'm not going to say that. Okay, first of all, thank you for the compliments. I'm glad you guys like the videos so much, but I can't help but feel bad when I see comments like that. A lot of people have wanted to know what my thoughts on CinemaSins are. And I think it's because they want me to trash CinemaSins and, just say, like, how horrible they are. And I think one person even said I should talk about how I perfected the style they tried to make. Okay, I'm not that arrogant. I'm sorry. I don't think I perfected the style. In fact, I look back at my old videos and I'm glad we made improvements in the later ones. And I think there's still improvements to be made. I'm sure someone else will maybe actually, someone already has taken inspiration from the videos I've made. You guys should go check out Optimus Phillips' videos. He made book inaccuracy vids on the Percy Jackson series. And, that's another example of someone taking inspo. I mean, what I found weird was he actually asked my permission if he could make those. And I told him, you don't need my permission. I didn't ask CinemaSins permission to take inspiration from them. I don't own this genre, neither do they. You can make whatever the hell you want. Go ahead. Just know that if you guys make inaccuracy videos on mythical stuff, I might already have that stuff listed, so I might eventually do it too. Like, you're welcome to do it, but, like, just know that I'm eventually probably gonna do this. Like, I plan to do inaccuracy videos for almost every movie, show, and video game based in mythology. So that's what I'm planning on doing, just so you guys know. I don't really plan on doing book ones, so I guess that's why Optimus Phillip joined on that, so good for him. But yeah, I just want to say, I feel bad when people use my videos as a way to dunk on CinemaSins, because I'm grateful to CinemaSins. They were an inspiration on the series I created, and I do honestly think that the inspiration I took from them for the franchise made it better and gave it more of the success. Now, I probably would have made that video even if I'd never heard of CinemaSins, because like I said, God, take a shot every time I say CinemaSins. Because like I said, I already had the idea, just in a different way, and my inspo from that channel helped me fully realize it. So I probably still would have put that video up, but its format probably would have been very different. Its structure probably would have been very different. And I can't be sure that it would have achieved the same level of success. Look, I know why people don't like CinemaSins. Like, people have... Like, I've seen the videos of people talking about why they think it's terrible or why they're not into it anymore. I used to watch them a lot, like in high school, but eventually I stopped watching, and the reason for that wasn't like anything personal against them. It was just, I kind of just lost interest. I felt like it was kind of the same stuff over and over, or just like a whole bunch of jokes that didn't really work for me. You know, it's like sometimes a sin would be like, oh, this guy's doing this for this girl, but when I do it for this girl, someone calls the cops on me. I'm like, okay, very funny. Like, you've made that joke 30 times in 40 videos. So yeah, I just kind of lost interest in them, but I never hated them. And you know, one criticism I see a lot towards them is Jeremy, I believe, has said he's kind of playing a character in the CinemaSins videos. He's playing a nitpicky asshole. And a whole bunch of people say, he's not playing a character. He can't claim to be playing a character. That's ridiculous. Well, look, I don't know what goes on in Jeremy's head, but I'll give you guys a little peek behind the curtain on when I create these videos. When I do them, and I was doing this before I even knew Jeremy said he was playing a character. I've been playing a character when I do the inaccuracy vids. And the reason I do play a character is because I think it makes the video a lot funnier and more entertaining. I kind of also have to play a character to do these, because in every inaccuracy in Disney's Hercules, I'm like constantly like nitpicking everything and getting mad at the inaccuracies, and I just build up this rage at how they keep saying Hercules instead of Heracles, because I think that's going to be funny. But I have to play a character there because in real life, I don't give a rat's ass about any of the inaccuracies. It's one of my favorite films. I still watch it every now and then and feel so good when I do, because to me, like, there is nothing wrong with that movie. I wouldn't change a thing about it if given the opportunity. It's one of my comfort films. I love, love, love that movie to death. But there's so much to point out in an inaccuracy video. So I make those videos for two major reasons. One, to be funny, and two, to be educational. I think those videos are a great opportunity for anyone who wants to learn the direct differences between these products and the actual source material they're based on. And some people say, why would you point out mythical inaccuracies? Mythology isn't real. Well, you know, I could, if I wanted to, make a video comparing Marvel movies to Marvel comics, right? And would you have the same attitude then? Be like, it's not real, so it doesn't matter. Look, it doesn't mean the movie's bad, but people who want to learn more about these characters would probably watch that in order to learn where, you know, the stuff came from and how it evolved and how it was changed and how it might be used in future adaptations. That's kind of the idea behind these inaccuracy videos. So yeah, I'm trying to be educational, but I'm also trying to be comedic, because I want it to be entertaining in a way that, like, makes you think or makes you go, oh, cool, I didn't know that about that character. But I also want you to laugh, because I love making people laugh. It's my favorite thing to do. And there are also people... Well, here's the thing. Jeremy, I believe, has said that too in CinemaSins. He said he's a parody channel, like CinemaSins is meant to be funny, but there are also times where he's said, like, it's actually supposed to be a critique of certain movies, and people have used that as a smoking gun against him as well. They've said, oh, you can't claim to be parody while also claiming to be criticism? No way, those cancel each other out. But, you know, people have said stuff like that to me, too. They've said, you can't claim to be comedic while also claiming to be educational. Those are two completely different things. Well, inherently, yeah, but that doesn't mean you can't mix them together. I mean, there's a lot of critics who also try to be funny, especially on YouTube. It's all over YouTube. I mean, like Nostalgia Critic, Angry Joe, and all those other channels. I mean, it's people always want to add a little comedy into something to make it more entertaining. There are jokes in horror movies. Does that mean it's no longer a horror movie? Or a joke can never be funny in a horror film? People can mix things together. There have been times when I've inserted my own critiques into one of my inaccuracy videos, even though my inaccuracy videos are mainly meant to be funny and educational. Every now and then there's something I just want to say, and so I'll throw it in there. Like in my God of War Chains of Olympus video, I was joking a lot and pointing out little fun facts a lot, but I also did take a minute to point out, how come we never actually fight Morpheus in this game? He's mentioned so many times, and he's one of the main villains of the game, but we never actually fight him. Nothing happens with him. And worst of all, it would have been a really cool way to delve into Kratos' nightmares that are torturing him during the events of this game. Would have been perfect to use Morpheus for that big missed opportunity. But that doesn't mean I hate the game. And, obviously, even though I'm pointing out a little critique there, I'm still just having fun with almost the entire rest of the game. I also point out the inaccuracy that the Piraeus lion in boss fight in that game is an actual sentient creature instead of an inanimate statue. Obviously, I don't want it to be an inanimate statue in the game. What kind of boss fight would that be? So, yeah, as someone who also makes videos in this genre, I honestly understand when I see those videos of like people pointing out with clips of Jeremy saying it's parody but also saying it's critique. It's like, yeah, I've done that too. And when he says he's playing a character, it's like, yeah, I've done that too. So when people like just dunk on him for that and say, oh, he's obviously lying, he's not playing a character, or he's obviously lying, he's not doing both of those things, I'm sorry, I can't agree with you because I do all of that. I know how that is. Like, I really legitimately do. And this isn't some video to tell you CinemaSins is the greatest channel on YouTube, or you're wrong for disliking them, or you're wrong for not enjoying it. No, enjoy or don't enjoy whatever you want. I just wanted to give my 2 cents on it because, again, he's a creator I relate to because I make similar videos to what he makes. And, yeah, I just wanted to be open and honest about what inspired this series because I get asked about it a lot. And also people dunk on CinemaSins for the times they make mistakes. They're like, oh, it's called Everything Wrong With, so they're not allowed to be wrong about anything. Look, at the end of the day, they're still human, so they're going to make mistakes. I've made mistakes. I made a huge mistake in my Hercules video regarding the Hydra. Jake W. did a great video breaking it all down if you want the full context of that.
When I inquired about this to my viewers, most people pointed to a very popular video by the Mythology Guy where he compares Disney's Hercules to the traditional Greek Heracles.
And, it was an opportunity for me to learn as well. Every time I make an inaccuracy video, there are people in the comments pointing out things I could have expanded on or more stuff I could have pointed out. And honestly, I love that because then I learn more and it leads to me doing better in my future videos so you guys can learn more. So, that's just human nature. It's just how it works. My videos are not meant to be the authority on what's true, what's accurate, and what's inaccurate. They're meant to be me, a mythology guy, not a professor, a mythology guy who likes mythology, making videos where I play a nitpicky jerk who wants to point out every single little inaccuracy in the video. And that's why on the thumbnail it shows me going, and says everything they got wrong, because that's the character I'm playing. I love the God of War games in real life. I had fun with the Blood of Zeus show in real life. I love the Hercules movie in real life. But it's stuff that I can easily joke about in those videos, and also, you guys keep asking for those videos, so I'm gonna make more of them. I imagine the same thing happens to CinemaSins. People ask them for more of those videos, so they keep making more of them. And yeah, like, if there's, like, information you want to add to that, like, oh no, CinemaSins is dirty because of this thing they did, you can tell me. I'm open to hearing it. Again, I haven't watched them in a long time. I'm not 100% up to date with what's been going on with them. But at the end of the day, I do believe that the creators over there don't want you to take their videos completely seriously. I think they just want to entertain you and maybe have a little bit of a critique just to see if they can, now that they're as successful as they are, if they can put a stop to certain tropes that really annoy them in Hollywood. And they're allowed to be annoyed by those tropes. It's their channel. They have over 10 million subscribers, and good for them, because I really don't think they're hurting anybody. Some people think that their channel is bad for film criticism. It's just destroying the film critic world and giving everybody a bad name. I don't agree with that. I think that's a big overreaction. I've always just thought of them as a silly, entertaining channel. I'm sure there are people who take it way too seriously, but that happens in every community. I have people who take my videos way too seriously one way or the other, and I have no control over that. I can't do much about it. So I never really think it's fair to use the way certain members of someone's audience behaves as a critique of the entertainer themselves. So at the end of the day, did I say that already? Whatever. Jeremy, Chris, any other members of the Cinema Sins team, if you're watching this video, which, hey, I'm very humbled if you are, you guys are a huge channel, I want to say thank you. Thank you for creating a series that influenced me to create a series that just skyrocketed my success. I was doing well beforehand. I had 300,000 subscribers, but those videos just bolted everything up. It was after the immense success of my Disney's Hercules video that I managed to start doing YouTube full time. Before that, I was doing YouTube and also working a regular job. And, I just don't know if I would have the success I have today if it weren't for the influence I got from the CinemaSins channel. This doesn't mean I owe them everything, but I owe them my thanks at the very least. So yeah, I'm able to work my dream job, something I absolutely love. I'm able to provide for myself and the woman I love as well. I got a toy of myself, dude. Do you realize how amazing of a dream come true that is? That's just how I feel. I can't get behind all the CinemaSins hate because I'm grateful to them for inspiring what they inspired. And I'm so happy to be where I am in life. But that doesn't mean you guys have to like them. It doesn't mean you have to feel any certain way about them. You're allowed to feel however you want to feel, but now you know how I feel about it and why I'm not going to make a video just dunking on them. I don't even know why I would, but yeah, I don't know how to end videos.